evening from the Pompey Observatory. Welcome Iceland, I'm glad you're not sleeping. Thanks for joining us. Tonight it's going to be Messiah night and we're not going to miss out on TCRB either. To the right is Dwarf. And is looking at TCRB. And to the left we have Stellina making a special appearance to take a deep look at Bode's galaxy M81. We're going to try to do justice to Bode's galaxy tonight by going the full hour on it. And none other than Stellina can do justice to this galaxy. After that, Dwarf will have no shortage of Messiah objects to the west to choose from. Seestar is on standby, powered up. And waiting. Do heater on. Let's make sure it's on. It's already humid outside. I put the telescopes out about an hour ago to acclimate and went down to turn on Stellina, and she was drenched with dew. The good news is that Stellina turns on the dew heater automatically whenever the temperature and the humidity require it. The dogs are restless today. The atmospheric dispersion correction filter arrived this afternoon. I am in no mood to use a big telescope today. So we're sticking with smart telescopes. Hello, Bill. Disaster struck this morning in Oswego. When I turned on the big Meade 16 and started the alignment, it gave me a motor stalled error followed by motor failure. Everything that I tried to do, everything that I had done many times over the past 9 months, did not work. It just insisted on motor failure. So now we have the challenge of figuring out why it doesn't want to move. Is it really a motor failure or just a freak error? I have seen that twice before. The very first time I saw that was when I traded up my 8-inch Edge HD. What people do not know is before buying the 11-inch Edge HD, I got me a 12-inch Meade LX200 ACF, beautiful machine. It shipped in an extremely nice package, one piece, the whole thing, multi-hundred pounds, and set it up, turned it on, and the very first thing that appeared on the hand controller was motor failure, and wouldn't do anything. Spent the next several hours on the phone and on the internet with the folks from High Point Scientific who had sold me the telescope, and eventually everybody agreed to repackage it and ship it back. And then you may remember my Edge HD 11, when the motor board died. We found a replacement in the UK, had it shipped over, and we got the CGX mount to work, but not quite ever right. And now this one. Now there is good news on a few fronts in that situation. I am able to move the telescope using the hand controller. It will go up, it will go down, it will go right, it will go left. However, when it is asked to slew anywhere, for some reason it declares motor stalled. Apparently the explanation is that the encoders are not sending information back to the firmware confirming the position of the scope. So it does not know that the telescope is moving if there is no feedback confirming that it is moving. We are keeping fingers crossed, hope against hope, that some moisture may have gotten into the system that will go away if we leave it alone for a few days. So leaving it alone for a few days, but this was not a happy morning. After we had a tremendous success with the test for the lunar eclipse, came that. To make things worse, Meade Instruments has indeed gone out of business, and Orion that had purchased Meade was shut down by the company that purchased Orion. So attempts to reach Meade technical support were not successful. All right, let me attend to that. Stand by. Let me see if this is gonna help in any way. Is this any better? Okay, let's see whether this is gonna work. Build the M81 that you had sent me yesterday, that was on Seestar, correct? Ah, okay, hold on. I think I know where the problem is. Yep, found the problem. Okay, we should be good now. Thanks, Bill. This time the problem was the trip to Oswego. OBS Studio defaulted to the built-in microphone. Thank you. As you can tell, the difference between your M81 on Seestar and my M81 on Stellina is the saturation of the image. Stellina is a touch warmer, reddish, whereas Seestar is just a bit cooler. I'm going to give Stellina the full hour to see what it does. And then I'm going to see if Stellina will catch the main belt asteroid Tanya. Have not done asteroids in a couple days, so we'll see how that looks up. Usually the 11-inch telescope is more suited for asteroids, but I just don't feel like swinging a big scope around tonight. Still scarred from this morning. The arms of Bode's galaxy are starting to show. And for those joining us, just a quick tour of the night sky. This is indeed TCRB. It is still very faint. It has not gone supernova. Actually, would not go supernova. It has not gone nova yet. That is Epsilon Corona Borealis, Epsilon CRB. It is the brightest of the bunch. When TCRB goes nova, it'll be brighter than Epsilon, and that's how we can tell it has gone nova. So we're paying our respects to TCRB again. Don't know if it'll ever go nova on us or not, but we have it for another 6 weeks or so before it no longer be visible from the northern hemisphere, or at least from the USA. To the left we have Stellina, doing what Stellina does best, and that is take a challenging galaxy and do the best of it. I had to lower the volume by just a touch because it was hitting red. Let's hope this is still good. The black point stretch seems to be essential and necessary on many Seestar images. According to NASA, Bode's galaxy was discovered by Johann Elert Bode in 1774, one of the brightest galaxies in the night sky. 11.6 million light years from Earth in Ursa Major, apparent magnitude of 6.9. I can bring it back up. It was hitting red. Let's go back to where you said it was excellent. Microphone. Okay, we're back to where we were. That's the level at which you said it was excellent. M82, the cigar galaxy, which is M81's neighbor, is just out of the field of view. So back to the big telescope in Oswego. If we can have it track RA, that'll be a big step forward. We're going to try to see if it will reset itself on the GPS. I tried switching hand boxes, that did not help. And then I'm going to find if I can get to the encoder, to the RA encoder, which appears to be the issue, and see if unplugging the cables from it and plugging them back in, if it's a loose or corroded or dried up connection after 13 winter seasons and 13 summer seasons and the cycling from very hot to very cold. The board, the printed circuit board that carries the encoder, is no longer being made. Besides the fact that the telescope is about 15 years old, Meade no longer exists. I'm just dreading the thought of having the big 16-inch scope turning into a static piece of art or exhibit or display. And replacing the mount is not going to be easy. These are the arms of the galaxy starting to take shape, and we're starting to see some character inside. We are at 22 minutes stacked. A photo of the 16-inch. Let me find one. Somebody else doesn't like it. Okay, here we go. I figured at the very least I can get a short video out of it. And that was the problem, the realignment. It's refusing to realign. They're assuming here that the telescope is running on batteries, which it's not. And I don't believe that is the picture that you were looking for, but let me pull pictures of the big scope itself. Yeah, I tried contacting Meade support. Their voicemail says somebody will be on the line with you shortly, and then nothing. Yeah, that was my first reaction, was to just record it so I can read it carefully, because it was streaming reasonably fast. Bode's arms are taking shape now, more detail near the core of the galaxy. Okay, I found a photo. Let me see if I can pull it up. This is the 16-inch Meade standing on a very, very tall pier, which itself is standing on a very long concrete pier. And this is where I need literally an 8-foot ladder to climb to the telescope. And this is when it could not tell its head from its tail. That was a long and interesting challenge to find out why it was pointing to targets from its back, not the front. We eventually solved that by discovering that the park position and the home position were different. But yeah, this is the big ladder to climb to get to it. The big problem with this telescope is everything is under the base, so it's going to have to be taken off the pier, and that little piece weighs 250 pounds. They have a physics and astronomy department, and they teach astronomy courses. Don't know if it's a major. Very big glass. They offer a minor in astronomy. Yeah, they have, it is one of the minors that they offer. It's not a full degree, not a major. Hi Jeannie. How's Hollywood today? We woke up this morning and the temperature was 40 degrees, 40. It was nice. I'm hoping that with the Meade 16 that I will not have to go back to my undergraduate days of building my own printed circuit boards to fix the board on that scope. But if that's what it's gonna take, that's what we're gonna have to do. I just do not see this beauty turning into a statue or a monument. On a different front, good news. I just got word from Sue that DWARF 3 is being shipped by DHL. So it is not paddling its way across the Pacific. Hello, Son Goku. Bill, with a minor qualifier to this great piece of news, the reason Sue is reaching out is DHL is not accepting my address as valid. That's the beauty of the cemetery, nobody questions it. Bill, I keep peeking at your picture of Bode. To see the detail. I hope you don't mind me putting it up. Hello, Larry. It's never the wrong time for Bode, Larry. I know people believe it is a springtime galaxy April time frame, but because it is an Ursa Major, it is always viewable from the northern hemisphere. Okay, we have permission to put them side by side. And this is when you will hear my classic glass has its privilege. "62 minutes on Seestar before Seestar ruined the watermark. I don't know if you can see it, but at the very core, I'm able to make out 3 stars now next to the core of the galaxy. We are 43 minutes stacked. We're going the full hour. And look what Stellina can do. It appears that it rotated it a bit. Yeah, it readjusted after the first few. Yeah, there was a rotation here. Yeah, there was a readjustment right at this level. If you look at these stars, they are moving closer to each other in between the 4th frame and the 8th frame, and then we stay there the rest of the way. Interesting. The arms are indeed made out of stars. Remember that Bode is 11 million years away, million light years away. Right now the big consideration is the last step here. As long as it is still showing change, and it is, we're going to keep stacking. Seestar is definitely showing those 3 stars, which Stellina is showing here. They should both have roughly the same field of view except for the rotation. And these 4 stars, 1, 2, 3, 4 are here. 1, 2, 3, 4. CrB is still there, it has not gone. Ah, so that was a mechanical adapter that you used, okay. No, Genie, the left arm is right here. I don't think these stars belong to the galaxy. They are just, let's see who they are. Stellarium should tell us who they are. So Bode is 12 million light years away. Yeah, the HD 85458, which is this one, this star right here at the arrow, is in our Milky Way. It's only 500 light years away. So it definitely does not belong to the galaxy. And then HD 85743 is also in our Milky Way. It's only 560 light years away, and that's this bright one here. So yeah, these guys do not belong to the galaxy. 1, 2, 3. But the other interesting thing here is Holmberg 9, Holmberg 1X galaxy is to the right of Bode. It is right here. There is a galaxy right here that is trying to show up. Magnitude 14, so it'll be a while before we can see it. M81 is magnitude 7. This is giving me an interesting challenge to see if we can bring out Holmberg 1X or IX or 9. Well, I'm going to go back to your image and see if there is any sign of Holmberg IX. I am pulling Bill's picture back up. Apparently, there it is. Uh-oh. Right here. Bill, I don't know if you can examine your picture closely, but there is a galaxy right here. The Holmberg 9. When I imaged the horse head with Stellina a couple nights ago, Alnitak came out as a starred galaxy. Sorry, as a spiked star. Oh, nope, that was Saturn. Okay, it is 10 o'clock, so TCRB, we have done due diligence. It's time to give Dwarf something useful to do. We still have a lot of activity. The bulk of the Milky Way is to the southwest right now, so there is a lot for Dwarf to look at. Yeah, I'm looking at the new image. The four stars that form a trapeze should be surrounding that galaxy. This is Bode, and these are the four stars that I mentioned that form a trapeze, if you will, and that is supposed to be Holmberg 9. That's where it is relative to the galaxy. These stars, 1, 2, 3, 4, they are all in our Milky Way, a lot closer to us than the galaxy itself. But there is Holmberg at 14 magnitude. So today is Tuesday, which makes it Wednesday in China. Let's see if DHL is still as good as they used to be, which means I might get the Dwarf 3 by the weekend. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm taking requests for dwarf for a target. Right now dwarf is sitting on the west wing, so it has a direct view of the south and a little bit of the southwest, which means the Milky Way is fair game. Did we do Messier 24 with dwarf yet? 24 degrees up, not high enough. I was thinking of the Perseus double cluster. That's going to require me to move the dwarf to the east. Standby. Son Goku Horsehead has not risen yet. Horsehead is still a morning constellation. The double cluster, Larry, is still at 16 degrees elevation. Let me give it a few more minutes. Actually, no, from here we should be able to get it. I stand corrected, it's at 31 degrees. Let me get dwarf. We're going to stop. And Larry, it is good enough. May just have to find the coordinates, right ascension and declination for the double cluster. NGC 884, that is doable. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and the dwarf is now on the east wing perch. Okay, photo, astro, function, calibrate, confirm. Ladies and gentlemen, Bode's galaxy is starting to show some character near the lower end. There are some interesting traces here, and shadow right there, and the arms are opening up. I'm gonna stay with the Bode for a little bit longer. Okay, we said NGC 884. This is one of the two clusters. Let's see if it'll show us both. Nope, not okay at all. I want to see. Okay, here they are. They are both in the center, so if we go for here, we should be good. We have the two clusters, so we're going to start stacking. Larry, I'm leaving the filter out, the infrared filter out. Because I discovered that my elongated stars were caused by the infrared filter. Alright, here's your double cluster. Let's stack it. Curves. Give me some darkness. There we go. How do you like me now? Or what? You have to remember that dwarf is sitting 3 stories high, dangling its legs over the windowsill and staring down a possible fall of 36 feet onto hard concrete if I ever slip. The other day, the neutral density, the solar filter, slipped from my hand as I was putting it on the dwarf and fell all the way down onto the concrete. It did not break. So I was grateful for that. But that's the extent of the mishap with operating off windowsills. And for those who are joining us now, station identification. This is the Pompey Observatory in upstate New York. Thank you for joining us. And the odds are 3 of you are not subscribed to this channel yet, so please subscribe. Thank you. Yes, I have another dwarf coming. Sue just confirmed that they are DHLing it. I don't know if DHL is a verb or still a company, but they're sending it via DHL. It's leaving China today. Thanks, Jeannie. Yeah, over the years I've received many things with DHL. Actually, when I purchased the Meade 12-inch, the one that I had to send back same day, they shipped it with DHL. While dwarf is on the east wing, as soon as the Pleiades are high enough, considering that tonight is a clear night, that is one target that dwarf will do justice to. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I'm looking ahead to Dwarf 3 for all the things that Dwarf 2 could not do, such as the Heart Nebula, or Pac-Man, or for that matter, Trifid and Cocoon. And North America and California, all those H-alpha nebula that Dwarf II just could not do. Yeah, Dwarf II can do Orion and the Flame. It suffered with the Horsehead. It's doing very nicely with the double cluster. Larry, did you try it with Dwarf? With Dwarf II? Okay. Yeah, Seestar cannot wrap its arm around the entirety of the Heart Nebula. Yup. You may have heard me yesterday mention that somebody declared with authority that the large aperture Seestar will be unveiled in September this month. So as we plan the future home of the Pompey Observatory, I have reached the conclusion that it's going to have two structures on it. One is not going to cut it. There has to be one for me and one for the telescopes. And we're looking now at potentially a good size concrete slab, maybe 30 by 20, with a 20-foot shipping container that will serve as office, and then the 8-foot dome to house the big telescope with enough concrete on both sides for portable scopes. Six hours, not the same night, obviously. Was that over 3 nights? Yes, Genie. It has to be heavier. It's going to have more glass. That's the big thing. And as soon as you put more glass, you're talking about going away from the plastic gears to metal gears, whether they go brass or iron. I prefer brass. They may save on cost and weight by going with iron. And then the battery is going to have to be bigger and heavier. Larry, don't know if you heard me mention that there is a galaxy that I just learned about today, sitting right next to Bode's galaxy, and it is not the cigar galaxy. But it is Homburg. Hello, Tater. Where is Zena tonight? I just got some excellent footage of the fawn in our yard, which I will be posting as soon as I process it. Now a question to you, gentlemen. Do you think we have any chance of seeing Homburg 9 magnitude 14 with Stellina? Because I have no problem staying on it the rest of the evening. Right now it is at 23 degrees elevation. It'll still be at 22 in an hour, 21, and it's not going anywhere. It's going round and round around Polaris. It is within Ursa Major. Stellina will tell us when Stellina has had enough, so I have no problem letting it run all night. I am relieved, Bill. I was worried about that. Now the big question though is the Boeing Starliner and the Earth going to collide this weekend? According to other sources, it is magnitude 16. That is Homburg 9. And it is not a spiral galaxy, but rather a Magellanic type cloud. But in the meantime, Bode is starting to show some more detail around the core. This little dark straight and those two brighter filaments, if you want to call them, and some darkness here. I'm liking this picture. Next time the dogs start barking, we're gonna call it a test of the emergency notification system. It's only a test. I think someone else has expressed an interest in joining us. And that would be Seestar. Hello Falcon 454. What brings you to our neighborhood? Stand by, we're trying to do a little dance here. We're moving control of Stellina so that Seestar can take over this device. Okay, we're going to confuse matters a lot now by launching Stellarium and have it control Seestar so we can go to asteroid Tanya. Okay, telescopes. Seestar. Connect. find. Let me show you what we're doing. Interesting that does not have asteroids. Alright, it's gonna have to be right ascension declination. Titania is orbiting between Mars and Jupiter in the outer reaches of the main asteroid belt. And right now it is at 0 hour 36 minutes. And minus 15 degrees 8 minutes. Okay, let's go there. Let's see if Seestar will happily go there. If you like using Stellarium to control Seestar, you just need to follow the instructions from there we go. This is the funny part, Seestar trying to plate solve by going all over the place. Finding the unknown. Bill, I have actually. Usually with a bigger telescope. Incidentally, Bill, this is a new feature with the new app on Seestar. I have enabled autofocusing after every go-to target. And there it is. For whatever it's worth. I doubt that Mark is going to mark anything here. No objects to mark. Okay. If the right ascension and declination coordinates are accurate, this would be asteroid, main belt asteroid Tanya, sitting between Mars and Jupiter on the outer edges of the belt. Or maybe not, it's probably the one right above it. It's magnitude 15 and change. So unlikely to be the bright one, it's just the one a bit fainter. Yes, Jeannie, it's one of the asteroids. The way the solar system was formed, the gravity of the sun gets into a critical balance with that of the bigger gas giants, as we call them, Jupiter and Saturn, particularly Jupiter, in such a way that all the lesser planets or rocks, if you want to call them, or asteroids, end up forming a belt between Mars and Jupiter, critically balanced between the sun's gravity pulling them in and Jupiter and Saturn's gravity keeping them out. So as you look at a detailed map of the solar system, there is a large concentration of asteroids in what is known as the main belt asteroid, or the main belt of asteroids, and they are numbered, and occasionally we have an asteroid that is visible from Earth. This one is asteroid Tanya. Larry, have we done enough on the double cluster? Okay, shall we attempt to go to the Pleiades? It's just now rising. Let's see if it'll take us there. Pleiades is the other constellation that is mentioned in Amos in the Bible, way back, 900 years BC. The prophets were writing about the Pleiades and Orion. We have the Pleiades. We're going to have them for quite a while, catching them at 5 degrees. Ladies and gentlemen, this is only 5 degrees up. That's what happens when you perch dwarf on the windowsill. Actually, hold on. I'm going to lower the resolution. It's not letting me. Bummer. Okay, never mind then. We'll end current session. We'll be right back. Keep tracking. There we go. Stack 2K auto enhance on. Let's go for it. And shutter 10. Okay. I'm trying not to use up the rest of the SD card by going 4K. For something like the Pleiades, not much is gained by going 4K as opposed to 2K. I'm going to clean up the background of the display. I have the Eagle Nebula M16 as the background. It just makes it a bit too crowded. There we go. Okay, where are we going to send Seestar? Any suggestions for Seestar? Otherwise we might attempt the California Nebula and see how much of California we can fit in. Jeannie, do you want to see the California Nebula? Sorry, we don't have a Hollywood Nebula, so California is the best I can offer you at this point. Okay, California it is. Let's see if we need to adjust That's gonna have to do. Go to it. As you can tell, it's very, very low to the horizon. So let's hope Seestar picks it up. It's 11 o'clock, station identification. You are watching the Pompey Observatory live channel. There we go. Let's see how soon we will see pink. Okay, we have stars. A friend of mine was visiting his in-laws once, and he saw his mother-in-law sweeping with a broom with a broken handle. He said, "What happened? What happened, ma? Rough landing?" Or as they say, as the economists say, hard landing. Where is C-34 right now? It's past the meridian. Sorry. We just moved dwarf from the west to the east. And right now dwarf is suffering from light pollution from Cazenovia. That's something I will have to contend with from the future home. At very, very low altitudes, I have to deal with Cazenovia pollution. Bode's galaxy is still adding features. Genie, there are additional stars showing up in one of the arms of Bode's galaxy. I don't know if you can see them, but those tiny stars were not there a bit earlier. Were not visible. Here they are starting to become visible. It's going to be interesting if Stellarium will tell me what magnitude those stars are. Stellarium doesn't know them. The three tiny stars in the middle of the screen. Can you see them now? Right near what the arrow is pointing to. Bill, do you have any way of finding out what the magnitude is on those? Stellarium Web does not want to talk to me. I want to see if Stellarium, the program, will identify them. Otherwise, I'll go to there's M81. No, Stellarium does not. Okay, it identified one of them. Magnitude 16. The lowest one is identified as magnitude 16 by Stellarium. So with that in mind, we should be able to see Homburg 9. Alright, the top of these three, according to Stellarium, is magnitude 18. So we're trying to resolve some fairly dim objects here. Somebody posted on astrophotography, to whomever bought a new telescope in the Dallas-Fort Worth area of North Texas, thank you. My yard was dying from lack of rain. Now it's gonna rain for 2 weeks. Wikipedia M81 group. I am pleasantly surprised that Stellina is still adding to the quality of the picture. It's interesting how the light pollution is keeping M45 from showing nebulosity. Stellina is the only one of the telescopes running on battery, and it does not have an indicator as to how much battery is left. Just gonna play it safe and take some snapshots. Stellina does not need to be reminded to turn on the dew heater, it does it automatically. Larry, that's one more target that I look forward to doing with the DWARF III. I did get a lot of nebulosity on M45 with the IR filter in place, and let me try to do that. See if it'll let me. If we cut IR, it's going to show elongated stars, but then it will start showing nebulosity very quickly. DWARF II is powered from an adapter. Stellina, I have traditionally powered it from a 50,000 milliamp battery that used to carry me all night. More so than Seestar, Stellina is very, very susceptible to cord wrap, and it's not pretty. I used to, in the early versions of the firmware, it always rotated clockwise. So I would pre-wrap the cord. So as it is rotating, it will unwrap the cord, and after a few loops, we would be good. But now it tries to find the shortest path from where it is to where it's going. So I can no longer pre-wrap the cord, and that forced me into using batteries. There is another issue with Stellina that many people have complained about. The USB-C port into Stellina breaks. So I have used a magnetic USB connector there. And magnetic USB connectors are not happy with adapters. They are a lot happier with the battery. Don't know if you noticed, DWARF, the stars now are oblong as opposed to round, and that's what happens when I put the IR filter in, IR cut. But should start seeing nebulosity soon. Which is why Vaonis went with the magnetic charging for the Vespera. And now that the European Union has mandated the use of USB-C chargers for all devices, everything from cars to cell phones, now they are changing Vespera to be, they're going back to USB-C. Yesterday I noticed that Seestar, the USB port for charging, is becoming wobbly. So I don't know how long it'll be before we break a solder joint there or something. I plan to retire Bode's Galaxy when we hit 2 hours stacked, and retire Stellina also. I just purchased a new gadget in my experimenting for power sources for the future home. It is a Ryobi power converter. It takes a regular battery and converts it to USB. Where is it? There it is. Nope. I just got an email from DWARF Lab confirming that my order is shipped and that they will get me a tracking number ASAP. Okay. Alright, I found the Ryobi item. This is the one. It sits on any 18-volt battery and provides 2 USB outputs and for the price, 1997, it's dirt cheap, and it should be able to power both Seestar and DWARF all night in the field with a 4 amp hour battery. Yeah, right now I'm not concerned about the smart telescopes. They will run all night without needing mains power. The link to the Home Depot, that's easy. Since I already have the batteries and the chargers, I have been using Ryobi tools for many years. Everything from the 40-volt chainsaws and lawnmowers. The lawnmower is an interesting story. I wanted to buy a second battery for my chainsaw. The 40-volt chainsaw is incredibly good. I've cut down major trees with it and it never hiccups. So I wanted to buy a new battery, went online looking for the battery and discovered that they are selling a lawnmower plus battery for the same price as battery. Same battery. So I got the lawnmower for free with the battery. The 18 volts, they include everything from drills to vacuums to sanders, routers, you name it, and I have them all in my shop, so I have the batteries. Good evening, Alabama. Okay, I neglected my duty of posting the names of the telescopes. Here they are. On the left we have Seestar looking at the California Nebula. In the middle we have DWARF II looking at the Pleiades Subaru M45. And on the right, Stellina is doing good with Bode's galaxy. I'm actually blown away with the detail that keeps showing up on that galaxy. So we have a magnitude 18.6 star that's already shown up. I still do not see any Holmberg 9 galaxy there. This is where it's supposed to be. I don't see anything yet. Toast and Loaf, I tried a corded lawn mower. It did not go too far. My weed eater was barking a few minutes ago. There was an interesting video on YouTube of the new John Deere farm equipment. They use lasers to kill the weeds in the fields. Pattern recognition, artificial intelligence, and they have very, very large tractors, something with a 120-foot arm span, going at 10 miles per hour over the crops, detecting the weeds among the crops using cameras and AI, and then shooting them with high power lasers on the fly without slowing down. Not a cheap machine. So that Ryobi adapter arrived today. I have not tested it yet, but it won't be long before we put it to the test. Bode's galaxy has been stuck at 137.30 for a while. So that is the end of the night for Stellina. Okay. Good night, Stellina. Stellina has a very, very old processor on board compared to the rest of the guys. Again, I'm anxious to see how fast the new processor is on the DWARF 3. Yeah, to the ad hoc benchmark testing. It's going to be an interesting quad comparison sooner rather than later with the DWARF II, DWARF III, Stellina and Seestar. Side by side, same target. Divide the screen in 4 and let them run. Yes, I hear you. Yep. Larry, I will be asleep in an hour or so. Thanks for joining us and have a good night. I'm starting to show nebulosity on M45, by the way. Bill, I will make a list of those benchmarks. Hello, Joy. The unboxing, with a lot of luck, maybe as early as the weekend. Now, the very first metric or benchmark is the initialization. Seestar is the only one that does not initialize. You turn it on and that's it. It is ready to go look for targets. It assumes it's aiming north, roughly. It goes to the target, plate solves, knows what part of the sky it's looking at, or in my case, it aims at the wall and spends half an hour trying to plate solve the wall. The focus, the autofocus part, Stellina, is slow. We're talking about minutes. And then Seestar is slightly faster. Dwarf is extremely fast. It goes bzz bzz, and we are focused sometimes. Do you consider the roundness of the stars as a benchmark? I did a functional comparison of Dwarf versus Seestar, Dwarf II versus Seestar. So that'll be good to bring Dwarf III into the mix. The other big functional thing is Stellina and Seestar, they take the darks on their own. You don't have to worry about them. I don't think Dwarf 3 has a dark, built-in dark filter. I think we still have to put it in its bag, put the bag in a suitcase, put the suitcase in a dark room, put the dark room in at night in the house, and then take the darks and make sure that the light on the Dwarf 3 does not come on its own, which it has done to me a couple of times. They had a bug in the app at one point. As soon as you hit take darks, it turned the power lights on. Okay, let's take a quick look at the three machines tonight and what they did. This is the final image of the Bode galaxy. Darks. Genie, when they build a sensor for a camera, and the sensor consists of literally millions of little transistors, some of those transistors do not come up good and they leak current, so that you end up with random green, red or blue dots across an image. And this Bode was an hour and 37. And I have not done any tinkering with it yet. The that's when the edit comes in handy. We can play with brightness. With contrast. But saturation is the one that makes the difference. So these are fairly round. So Jeannie, I was saying you end up with random green, red and blue dots that are independent of whatever picture you're taking. They are there. Taking darks is when you take pictures with that sensor without any light shining in, and that's how you detect those tiny red, green and blue bad pixels. And then you subtract them from every image that you're taking. Actually, the telescope does that automatically so that they do not show up in the final image. Sometimes you'll see images with tiny squiggly greens, reds or blues, and that is caused by those hot pixels that have not been taken out with the darks. So Seestar takes darks on its own automatically before every session. So does Stellina. Dwarf, we have to take them manually and then store them in the telescope so it uses them in the future. So Seestar's pixels or stars are pretty round. Stellina, they definitely are round. Not as round. Bill, do you agree with me? Seestar has rounder stars? I have to admit, I like the stars on Seestar a little bit better. I don't know if the much longer exposure eventually fattened the stars. There is some leakage here. There is leakage there. I have to assume these are two stars. And in this situation, dwarf is a lost cause. I finally noticed that when we put the infrared filter in place on the dwarf, all my stars become oblong. So this is what the California nebula looks like, Jeannie. They think it is the shape of the state, so we're not going to argue with them. Seestar refers to taking darks as enhancing. That's the term that they use. Now, Webb lost one of its cameras to an space debris or asteroid or junk or whatever. This is a while back, so they had to rearrange things. Bill, I want to show you an image that I took with Seestar yesterday. That is obviously the Horsehead Nebula, and you can see Al-Nitaq up there, all spikes. I did not put anything in front of the lens, but that's how it came out. And to add to the mystery, same star right here, no spike. That is the same telescope, same morning. Both of these, I took both of these yesterday morning. Had a quick trip around Orion. Took Orion, Horsehead and Flame all in just about an hour. Actually, exactly an hour. 18:12:30. So that's what Orion came out with, only 18 minutes. With Flame, we ran out of night, literally. The sun was rising and it stopped stacking. And Horsehead with only 30 minutes, it's a beauty. But I wanted to point the spikes. It is almost tomorrow, so I'm gonna wrap things up. Wish you guys a good night. I'll be back tomorrow certainly. Not sure where the spikes are from, but yeah, Alnitak is one of the belt stars. So tomorrow's big task is to unbox the ADC, the atmospheric dispersion corrector, and make sure we can get proper focus on the big telescope. And so tomorrow night we will be testing the atmospheric dispersion corrector on Saturn. Yes, the music is coming, you guessed it. Jeannie, thanks for joining us. Bill, thanks again for all your help. And I know Larry has just bailed out. Torsten Loaf, if you're still there, wish you a good night. i2 Sports was my first venture into live streaming on the web, and that was literally 1997.